Got a tiny yard but massive garden dreams? You're not alone. In 2025, smart outdoor design isn't about square footage, it's about strategy. My backyard is just 312 square feet, smaller than most living rooms, but last month 3 different neighbors asked if I hired a professional landscaper. I didn't. I just stopped treating small spaces like failures and started using them like opportunities. Today I'm revealing 10 Lush landscaping hacks that transform cramped corners into garden showcases. Whether you're craving tropical vibes, low-maintenance setups, or just need your tiny space to finally work, this guide delivers. These aren't basic tips. These are strategic moves that make limitations disappear. Welcome to Daily Garden Fix. Hit subscribe because these 10 ideas will change how you see small spaces forever. Let's turn your tiny yard into something extraordinary. Hack 1. Vertical garden walls. Standard gardens spread horizontally, eating precious floor space. My wall-mounted vertical system grows twice the plants without sacrificing a single square foot. Here's what's unique. I don't just hang planters randomly. I create structured vertical zones using modular mounting systems. Bottom zone holds moisture-loving ferns. Middle zone contains herbs needing regular access. Top zone features drought-tolerant succulents requiring minimal maintenance. The innovation is my irrigation integration. I install drip lines behind the wall structure, feeding all 3 zones from one water source. Set a timer, walk away. The system maintains itself while delivering that lush green wall look. Why this works? You're literally doubling your growing area by using vertical space. The wall becomes your garden bed. Floor space stays open for seating, dining, or movement. It's space-saving garden design that actually saves space. Quick setup: mount sturdy grid framework to wall, attach modular planters at varied heights, run drip irrigation behind structure, plant in zones, wet lovers low, dry lovers high, add grow lights underneath for dramatic nighttime glow. Cost is about $70 for framework and irrigation. The vertical approach transforms blank walls into productive garden real estate. Hack 2. Layered planting depth. You've seen flat gardens. My 3-tier height system creates visual depth, making small yards feel dramatically larger. Here's the unique approach. I plant in 3 distinct height layers: ground covers at 0 to 12 inches, mid-level plants at 12 to 30 inches, tall features at 30 to 60 inches. This isn't random. It's calculated perspective manipulation. The innovation is my sightline engineering. When viewing the garden, your eye travels through 3 distinct planes, creating perceived distance. Short plants don't hide behind tall ones because everything's positioned at strategic heights, maintaining visibility of all layers simultaneously. Why this works? Height variation tricks your brain into perceiving depth. Flat plantings read as flat spaces. Layered plantings suggest extended distance even in tight areas. Quick setup. Front layer uses creeping thyme or moss. Middle layer contains lavender, small grasses, or compact shrubs. Back layer features bamboo, tall grasses, or vertical climbers. The graduation creates automatic depth perception. Cost is about $60 for varied height plantings. The layered technique makes shallow beds feel surprisingly deep. Hack 3. Built-in planter seating. Standard benches and planters compete for space. My integrated bench planter design combines both saving precious square footage. Here's what's unique. I build permanent benches with integrated planters on the sides and back. The structure serves dual purposes: seating for people, growing space for plants. 0 wasted area. The innovation is my access design. Planters sit at perfect height for maintaining herbs or harvesting vegetables while seated. You literally pick dinner ingredients without standing up. It's functional garden furniture optimized for small space efficiency. Why this works? In tiny yards, every element must earn its space. Furniture that only seats wastes opportunity. Furniture that seats and grows maximizes utility. Quick setup: use treated wood or composite materials. Build bench frame with deep planter boxes integrated on sides. Add waterproof cushions. Plant herbs, flowers, or compact vegetables. Surround base with gravel for drainage. Cost is about $100 for materials. The dual-purpose design doubles functionality while using single footprint. Hack 4. Tropical Plant Impact. Standard small gardens use small plants. My bold leaf tropical strategy uses dramatic foliage, creating instant jungle vibes. Here's the unique approach. I select plants with oversized leaves: monstera, elephant ears, banana plants. These create visual weight and atmosphere impossible with small leaf varieties. The innovation is my container grouping. Large tropicals live in big containers clustered strategically. This creates focal points, drawing attention away from space limitations toward dramatic plant presence. Why this works? Big plants make spaces feel intentionally designed rather than cramped. Your eye focuses on impressive foliage instead of measuring square footage. It's psychological redirection through bold design. Quick setup. Choose 3 large leaf tropicals. Plant in substantial containers. Group in corner or along fence, creating dense tropical zone. Add smaller ferns and caladiums around bases. Use dark mulch for contrast. Cost is about $80 for plants and containers. The bold leaf approach creates immediate atmosphere transformation. Hack 5. Gravel paths with dense borders. Standard walkways use uniform surfaces. My textured path system combines crunchy gravel with overflowing border plants. Here's what's unique. I create narrow gravel paths, just 24 inches wide, flanked by intentionally overgrown plant borders. The plants spill onto path edges, creating organic softness, contrasting with structured gravel. The innovation is my edging technique. I use flexible metal edging, creating gentle curves rather than straight lines. Curves make paths feel longer and more dynamic than straight equivalents. Why this works? Gravel provides clean walking surface without concrete's permanence or expense. Dense borders maximize planting area along path edges. The texture contrast creates visual interest in small spaces. Quick setup. Mark curved path using garden hose. Install flexible metal edging. Lay landscape fabric. Add 2 to 3 inches of pea gravel or crushed granite. Plant dense borders with height variation, tall in back, short at edges. Cost is about $50 for gravel and edging. The textured approach creates defined circulation while maximizing growing space. Hack 6. Container clusters. Standard container gardens space pots evenly. My clustered grouping technique creates visual impact through strategic arrangement. Here's the unique approach. I group containers in odd numbers, 3, 5, or 7, with dramatically varied heights. 1 tall statement container, several medium pots, multiple small accent pieces. The innovation is my mobility design. All containers sit on rolling plant caddies or furniture sliders. The entire garden rearranges in minutes, following sun patterns or aesthetic preferences. Why this works? Odd-numbered groupings feel natural and designed. Varied heights create mini landscapes. Mobility means you optimize sun exposure and refresh aesthetics without replanting. Quick setup. Select varied container sizes in coordinated colors. Add casters or sliders underneath. Plant with height variation, tall upright plants, mid-level textured varieties, trailing edge spilias. Group in triangular arrangements. Cost is about $90 for containers and mobility hardware. The clustered approach creates flexible garden layouts, adapting to changing needs. Hack 7. Climbing plants for softening. Standard fences and walls stay bare. My climber strategy transforms hard edges into living walls. Here's what's unique. I select fast-growing vines providing coverage within 1 growing season. No waiting years for mature growth. Immediate transformation. The innovation is my training technique. I use horizontal wire guides every 12 inches, directing vine growth into deliberate patterns rather than chaotic sprawl. The structured climbing creates intentional design. Why this works? Vertical surfaces are unused opportunities in most small gardens. Climbers maximize this space without consuming ground area. They add privacy, soften harsh lines, and create depth. Quick setup. Install trellis or wire grid on fence. Choose climate-appropriate vines, clematis, jasmine or ivy. Plant at base. Train growth horizontally using soft ties. Prune regularly, maintaining shape. Cost is about $40 for trellis and plants. The vertical greening adds dimension without footprint. Hack 8. Evergreen plus seasonal mix. Standard gardens go dormant in winter. My layered plant strategy maintains year-round interest. Here's the unique approach. I use evergreen shrubs as permanent structure. Boxwood, dwarf conifers, holly. Then I rotate seasonal flowers in gaps, providing changing color without redesigning. The innovation is my pocket planting. Evergreens sit in permanent positions. Between them, I create planting pockets using containers or bare soil spots. These pockets get seasonal annuals, tulips in spring, petunias in summer, mums in fall, pansies in winter. Why this works? Evergreens provide bones, preventing winter bareness. Seasonal rotations provide color, preventing summer monotony. The combination delivers consistent beauty with minimal permanent plantings. Quick setup. Place evergreens in key positions: corners, path entries, visual anchors. Leave strategic gaps. Rotate seasonal flowers through gaps based on bloom times. Keep color palette coordinated. Cost is about $70 for evergreens plus $20 per season for annuals. The rotation system maintains perpetual interest. Hack 9. Rain garden corner. Standard yards fight drainage problems. My rain garden solution turns problem areas into features. Here's what's unique. I identify the lowest corner where water naturally collects. Instead of fighting drainage, I create a rain garden specifically designed for periodic flooding. The innovation is my plant selection. I choose varieties thriving in wet-dry cycles: native sedges, swamp milkweed, joe pye weed, iris. These plants handle both flooding and drought without maintenance. Why this works? Fighting natural water flow requires expensive drainage systems. Working with water flow creates self-maintaining gardens. Rain gardens filter runoff, support pollinators, and look intentional. Quick setup. Dig shallow depression in natural low spot. Create gentle slopes towards center. Layer with sandy soil for filtration. Plant water-tolerant natives. Border with stones for definition. Cost is about $50 for plants and stone. The rain garden transforms problems into solutions. Hack 10. Compact pergola with hanging gardens. Standard small yards avoid overhead structures, fearing crowding. My low-profile pergola adds dimension while maintaining openness. Here's the unique approach. I install a compact pergola just 6x6 feet with low-profile beams at 7.5 feet height. Hanging planters suspend from beams, creating overhead gardens. The innovation is my transparent planting. I use wire baskets lined with cocoa fiber, allowing air circulation and light penetration. Plants grow in baskets, but light still reaches ground level, preventing darkness underneath. Why this works? Overhead structures define spaces, creating rooms in open yards. Hanging gardens maximize vertical growing without consuming floor space. The combination adds dimension while maintaining flow. Quick setup. Install small pergola using treated lumber or metal framework. Mount sturdy hooks on beams. Hang wire baskets with chains. Plant trailing varieties, herbs or strawberries. Add solar string lights for evening ambience. Cost is about $150 for materials. The overhead approach captures unused vertical dimension. 10 hacks transforming tiny yards into lush retreats. The pattern? Small space design requires different thinking. Going vertical, creating layers, maximizing every dimension. Quick recap. 1. Vertical walls doubling growing space. 2. Layered planting, creating depth perception. 3. Integrated seating, maximizing functionality. 4. Bold tropicals commanding attention. 5. Gravel paths with lush borders. 6. Movable container clusters. 7. Climbing plants softening edges. 8. Evergreen structure with seasonal color. 9. Rain gardens solving drainage. 10. Overhead pergolas adding dimension. These strategies cost under $1,000 total, but transform how small spaces function and feel. You're not working with less space, you're working with different opportunities. Which hack surprises you most? Comment below and tell me your yard size. Let's see how small spaces can go. Subscribe to Daily Garden Fix for weekly small space solutions. Now go make your tiny yard extraordinary.